So we're doing this bathroom makeover and Jamie says to me, hey, I want to switch out that light fixture. Do you think that you could make something out of these? If I got 2 of these, you think you could make something original for it? Naturally, I said yes. Yes, I can. I've got a piece of just 1x8 common board cut down to 25 inches, and then I routed the edges. Now this is also common board that I cut into 1/2-inch strips, and I'm going to use this to make a little recess for the wiring. So I'll make a little frame around it for the wiring to sit so that it's not just smack dab crammed up in there. Now I'm just going to run a small bead of glue all around the edge. And then I'm going to staple this on with 18 gauge brad nails that are 1 inch long. Now I'm just going to clean up the edges a little bit with some 150 grit on the random orbital sander. It's got these 2 knobs on the support bracket bolts or screws. And they just come off right like that. And then now I've got my mounting bracket, which can be adjusted, looks like. And that just goes on here right like this. Before I do that, I'm going to drill a hole with my Forstner bit so that I've got a place to do it. So I've got to find center and then measure these out so that they're equal distances apart. I'm liking the spacing about right there. This is what the sconces will look like once they get on there. So I'm feeling like that's pretty good. So I'm going to measure out from the center of 1. Looks like we're about 5.5 inches. Do the same thing on this side. And now I need to find center on this. This 1x8 is actually 1 by 7 3/4, so, or 7 1/4 actually, 1 by 7 1/4. So, all right, so that's where I'm going to drill my hole for my Forstner with my Forstner bit. Okay, so now that I've got those holes drilled, I'm going to be staining it. This is kind of prototype labeling. They're just testing stuff to see. This is that stain that we used on the floors and the table. And check this out. You can see there, it's all natural, no VOCs, food safe. So if you're staining something that you're not necessarily sealing, it's safe to use with food. So I'm pretty excited about it. And man, we keep telling you soon, it's going to be soon, but I feel like now that they've got kind of the labeling, you can see here it's just taped on, it's still in prototype phase. The gal that makes this just brought it by so we could keep using it. This is color number 3, so it doesn't have an official name yet, but I've got some mixed up and we're going to use it on this light fixture. The nice thing about this is that it's water-based, so I can't even smell anything right now. You can use this inside, around your kids. You don't have to worry about them getting into it. Alright, stain's dry. I'm going to put a coat of sealer on there. We're using Big Top, and I'm actually spraying the Big Top. It's working out pretty nice. So we're going to do that, and that way it's sealed. That way it can be wiped if it needs to be, because it's going to be in the bathroom where it's humid a lot with the shower and things. So we're going to seal it up. Now it's time to put these brackets on, and these are what is going to hold the lamp sconces in place. And these have an adjustment too, so if I don't get them perfectly lined up, I can adjust that later and move them where I want them to be. This hole here is right over the top of a knot. So I'm just going to drill a hole here so it'll have a little relief and won't split that knot. I made sure to leave a little bit of a gap here at the top so that I can run my wires through. Just making sure it's level real quick. Sorry for the bad lighting. I have the lights out in here, so I will get those on as quick as I can. And these are just going to hide under the sconces. Make sure I'm still level after that. So 2 screws, I've already got my wires pulled through. Alright, so I am not a licensed electrician, so I don't feel comfortable telling you how to DIY this, but you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, have someone do it. I'm just joining these up with some wire nuts, and that's about as hard as it is. But if you don't feel comfortable or you're nervous about it, get a professional out to help you out. I've got the breaker off and the light switch off, and then I'm going to come back through after I put these wire nuts on and cover them up with electrical tape. And it's kind of far away to see. I don't think I can get you close enough, but right now I'm just attaching the ground wire to the base here. It's the little green screw. You just attach that up and then tighten it back down. Now I'm going to do the other one. I'll wire that one up, and then I'm going to test it before I screw it all up there so that it's nice and neat. Alright, the true test. Let's see if they turn on before I zip all that back together. Ta-da! So the sconces, the black ones that came with the lamps, were just way too dark. So I am going to do a little DIY of my own on some mason jars. I just kind of got a little jagged circle cut out there. It's not traced very well. This is what I'm trying to match this hole. And then I'm just going to cut that out with my Dremel. Now that I've got the basic shape cut out, I'm just going to go kind of round off these edges so they're not so jagged and sharp. So I got my jar and my lid. I'm just putting it on the same way as I did the other sconce. Tighten that up real good. Then we get a light bulb. And we're using wide mouth. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Oh, helps if you get the threads right.
The front label should be facing forward, right? Is that possible? There we go.
Yep. Alright, let me see if I can show you how cool these are with the other light. Oh, that just looks bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's what those look like turned off. But they look cool turned on too. Let me see if I can turn this down. Oh, there we go. That's how that turned out. I think it's pretty awesome. So what we've learned is that I need to get better at taking pictures of lights in low lighting or high lighting, but I feel like the project turned out pretty great. The lights look good. And I'm really happy with the mason jar DIY that I did there at the end. I actually like that a lot better than the original sconces. The stain is up on the website, so if you've been waiting for that, make sure you go to jamirayvintage.com. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit that notifications bell so that you're getting all the notifications, and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more DIY.